Good morning. Our lesson today is talking about constructing and solving equations. Constructing and solving equations. An equation is like a balanced scale. If we add any amount to the left hand side, we have to add the same amount to the right hand side. Or if we subtract any amount from the left hand side, we have to subtract the same amount from the right hand side. So an equation is like a balanced scale because it shows that two quantities are equal. To keep the scale balanced, if we add any amount to the left hand side, we have to add the same amount to the right hand side. For example, here, if we add 3 apples to the left hand side here, if we add 3 apples here, we have to add the same amount 3 apples to the right hand side to keep the scale balanced. Or if we subtract any amount from the left hand side, for example here, if we subtract 3 bananas from the left hand side, we have to subtract the same amount from the right hand side here. So I have to subtract 3 bananas from here to keep the scale balanced. Okay. So to solve one-step equation, you need to ask yourself 3 questions. Before, what does it mean solving equation? What does it mean solving an equation? Solving an equation, it means find the value for the variable. Solving an equation, it means find the value for the variable. Miss, I didn't understand. What do you mean by finding the value for the variable? For example, if I give you x plus 2 equals to 5, solve the equation. What does it mean? You have to find x equals to what? X equals to what? Okay. So before solving an equation, you have to ask yourself 3 questions. What are these questions? The first question, what is the variable? The second, what operation is performed on the variable? What is the inverse operation? The inverse operation, so what is the inverse operation of addition? Subtraction. What is the inverse operation of subtraction? Addition. What is the inverse operation of multiplication? Yes, I hear somebody says division. Excellent. Division. Excellent. What is the inverse operation of division? Yeah, multiplication. Excellent. So, first question, first example here. Solve x plus 4 equals to 12. We said before that if we want to solve an equation, we said that it's like a balance. It's like a balance. If we add any amount to the left hand side, we have to add the same amount to the right hand side. Or if we subtract any amount from the left hand side, we have to subtract the same amount from the right hand side. Okay, what does it mean solving an equation? Solving an equation, it means find the value for the variable. Find the value for the variable. So what is the variable here? The variable is x. So we have to find x equals to what? We have to find x equals to what? Okay. To find x equals to what? We have to isolate x. Isolate x. What does it mean, isolate x? It means remove all the numbers next to x. Remove all the numbers, so we need to remove 4 and find x equals to what? Okay. How to isolate x? We need to use the inverse operation to isolate x. Okay. So what is the question we have to ask ourselves? What is the variable? The variable here is, what is the variable? The variable is x. What operation performed on the variable? Addition. So what is the inverse operation of addition? Subtraction. Excellent. So now if we want to solve this equation, we will use the subtraction property. So I will subtract 4 from both sides. I will use the subtraction property of equality. I'll use the subtraction property of equality. I'll subtract 4 from both sides. Okay, so 4 minus 4 equals to 0. They will cancel each other. Okay, so x equals to 12. If I subtract 4 from the left hand side, I have to subtract 4 from the right hand side. So 4 minus 4 equals to 0. They will cancel each other. Okay, so x equals to 12 minus 4 equals to 8. After we solve the question, or after we solve the equation, we have to check if our answer is correct or not. To check our answer is correct or not, we will check in the main equation. So we have to substitute by the value of x inside the main equation. So I'll remove x and put 8. So x plus 4 equals to 12. You will rewrite it again, then remove x and put 8. So 8 plus 4 equals to what? I don't know. I'll check. If 8 plus 4 equals to 12, to the right hand side, if the left hand side equals to the right hand side, so my answer is correct. If not, so my answer is wrong. So 8 plus 4 equals to 12 equals to the right hand side, so my answer is correct. Next examples. We have different examples here. We will start with the first one. M plus 9 equals to 3. M plus 9 equals to 3. So if I want to solve this is addition equation. So if I want to solve addition equation, I will use the subtraction property. So I will subtract 9 from both sides. Why I didn't subtract 3? I'll subtract the number next to m, or next to the variable, to isolate n, or to get rid of all the numbers to find m equals to what. So I'll subtract 9 from both sides. So 9 minus 9 equals to 0. M stays in the left hand side. M equals to negative 6. Here 3 minus 9 equals to negative 6. If we have two integers, different sign, we will use the sign for the bigger number and subtract. Revise adding and subtracting integers. So after we solve the equation, we have to check if our answer is correct or not. So where I will check? I will check in the main equation. Where I will check? I will check in the main equation. So I'll substitute by the value of m inside the main equation. So I'll remove m and put m equals to negative 6. Okay, so negative 6 plus 9, I don't know, equals to what? We have two integers, different sign. We will use the sign for the bigger number and subtract. So 9 minus 6 equal to 3. So the left hand side equals to the right hand side. So my answer is correct. Next question. Solve j plus 3 equals to 1. This is addition equation. So we will use subtraction property. So I'll subtract 3 from both sides. So 3 minus 3 equals to 0. So j equals to negative 3, 1 minus 3. So we have two integers, different sign. So we'll use the sign for the bigger number and subtract. So the answer is negative 2. J equals to negative 2. Now I want to check if my answer is correct or not. Where I will check? Yeah, I hear somebody said in the main equation. Excellent. So we will substitute by the value of j in the main equation. I'll remove j and put negative 2. So negative 2 plus 3, I don't know, equals to what? So negative 2 plus 3, if negative 2 plus 3 equals to 1, So my answer is correct. If the left hand side equals to the right hand side, so my answer is correct. So negative 2 plus 3 equals to 1. So the left hand side equal to the right hand side, so my answer is correct. Question number 3. G plus 4 equals to 12. This is addition equation. So we will use subtraction property. The inverse operations of addition is subtraction. So we will use subtraction property. So I will subtract the same amount next to G to isolate G, to find the value of G. So I'll subtract 4 from both sides. So 4 minus 4 equals 0. So G equal negative 16. If we have two integers, same sign, you will use the same sign and add. 12 plus 4 equals to 16. Now, after we solve, we have to check our answer is correct or not. Where we will check? We will check in the main equation. We will substitute by the value of G. Inside the main equation. We will remove G and substitute by negative 16. So negative 16 plus 4 equals to what? So I'll check. If negative 16 plus 4 equals to negative 12, so my answer is correct. If not, so my answer is not correct. So negative 16 plus 4, now we have two integers, different sign. We will use the sign for the bigger number, so negative, and subtract 16 minus 4 equals to negative 12. So my answer is correct. Since the left hand side equals to the right hand side, so my answer is correct. Next question. This is addition equation, so we will use subtraction property. I'll subtract negative 5 from both sides. If I subtract, remember, if you subtract any amount from the left hand side, you have to subtract the same amount from the right hand side. So 5 minus 5 equals to 0. C equals to 0 minus 5 equals to negative 5. Okay, if I want to check if my answer is correct or not, where I will substitute? Yeah, in the main equation. So if you want to substitute in the main equation, so you will substitute by the value of C inside the main equation. So C, negative 5 plus 5 equals to what? Negative 5 plus 5 equals to 0. So the left hand side equals to the right hand side, so my answer is correct. Thank you.